Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to Avorion with LD7, and today we're going to be talking about how to do the Boltan Smuggler mission. The reason why you would want to do this is it is required to get one of the Zosian artifacts that you need to overcome the barrier. So today we're going to kind of cover how you get started, get the mission set up, and all those good things. So first things first, you want to warp around until you find a hidden mass sector, so one of these yellow dots with one of these inside of it, Smuggler hideout. When you get close to it, one of these ships floating around it will be talking about a mission or something like that, and they'll hail you directly, and basically they'll say, hey, we've got some cargo, want to make some money, go take it to this spot and we'll pay you. So I already have the cargo and have that piece done. So the next step is to go deliver the cargo. I'll just show you how you can grab the cord. So it's going to be easy delivery is the base mission here. If you hit show location, it'll pull up the sector on your map. Makes it pretty easy to find. You can also track it with this little guy here, and that'll post it up so you can see it on your screen if you want. I'm not too worried about that because it's pretty close by. We just have to get around this rift, which not a big deal. The big thing you want to worry about with this, the cargo that you're delivering is, like high risk and stolen or whatever, suspicious. I forget what the classification is, but if you go in any of the sectors that have, what do you call it? That has like stations and things like that, so one of the factions, you will most likely have an issue where one of the ships from that faction will come over and be like, hey, you're carrying stolen goods, you have to pay us, and they're going to take the cargo and you'll fail the mission. So what I try to do, just warp into empty space as much as possible, because that decreases the likelihood of you actually running into anybody that would have a problem with what you're hauling. That last sector did have a few ships, but they didn't care, they're just going through the sector like us. But yeah, so that's kind of the first step, so to speak, of the smuggler mission. We're going into the sector now, so this is going to be Boltan. If you hail him, tell him you have the goods, he's going to say, you again, I'm out. Okay. So he left, which is a shame, but that's alright. I'm just going to get rid of this because I don't really want it in my cargo hold while we fly around. So I've already done that part before this recording, that's why he said, you again, I'm out of this. But if it was your first time, he would have taken the goods, and before paying you, he would have warped away. Shortly after that, you will get a mail. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and this is going to say, hey, it looks like you were betrayed by Boltan too. Come meet me here and we'll talk about it. So we need to go to 234-149. Oh man, that's going to be way far away, huh? Let's see. I thought there was a way for you to pin it. It might actually be in the mission tab, now that I think about it. Enemy of my enemy. Here we go. So we're going to tag that, and we're going to try to figure out how to get it. Okay, yeah, so he's on the opposite side, so we need to go through this wormhole, which is back this way. So we need to get up into this area again, which is pretty far, honestly. But that's fine. We will go ahead and warp over there. It's basically just going to be me warping through sectors to get to that sector. And the reason why it's so far away is because the first time I did the delivery mission, I was over in that part of the galaxy. So the sector is usually a little bit closer than this, but it's not a big deal. We'll warp over there. Anyways, once we arrive there, there will be a ship. We'll talk to them, hail them, whatever. And they'll basically say they developed a technology to inhibit his warp capability. and if you bring him a set of items, he'll make it for you. So what I'm gonna do here is we're probably just gonna cut this because it's just gonna be me warping over to this wormhole and going across, which makes sense, I hope, at this point if you've been playing the game a little bit on how to do that. But after we get to the sector, we'll go ahead and start back up, so we will see you in a few. Alright guys, we are just about ready to make our last jump into the sector to meet this guy for the enemy of my enemy mission. So once we do that, there will be a ship in that sector, and basically you just talk to them, and yeah, they'll tell us what materials we need to collect. And then once we gather all those, we come back here and they will build us a system we have to install. And once we have that installed, you basically go fight Boltan again. So, a friend, say hello, cool, I've heard, how do we stop him, he's a coward, blah blah blah. Alright, I'll help you. So we need to build a disruption ray. Come back once you have all the parts, just get the parts, cool. So our little tag here re-updated. So what we need in order to build this disruptor system or whatever is 1 neutron accelerator, 1 electron accelerator, 2 fusion generators, 5 energy inverters, 6 transformators, 8 semiconductors, and 2 processors. I have some transformators on me because I took out a transformators space station while I was doing some pirating and haven't sold them yet. But the rest of these we're gonna have to go buy. So as far as like finding them, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can definitely just kind of jump around and hope that a trading post has what you're looking for. That's one option. Sometimes that's a little bit faster. It just depends on your RNG and what the trading posts are actually selling. The other option is you go to the stations that actually sell the items we need. So I actually kind of know what stations we need to go to. So for the neutron and electron accelerators, we need to find an accelerator factory. That should be pretty easy. A lot of the factions we visited have those already, so hopefully we'll find one of those. For the fusion generators, we need a fusion generator factory. For the energy inverter, we either need an energy inverter factory, or if we go to a scrapyard, we can deconstruct force turrets to get energy inverters. It's only a possibility that we get an energy inverter when we do that, so I'm gonna see if we can find the actual factory for it first. If not, then we'll try the scrapyard. Next, the semiconductors, we just have to find a semiconductor manufacturer. That's pretty easy. And then on the processors, we need either a computer component or processor factory. So just looking, there is some computer factories up here which will have the first item for it, or the processors. So I'm gonna go ahead and head over there and see if we can't get these items. Basically the way this works, once you have all the items purchased, you return back to this sector that we're in, where we talk to our friend, so-called, and he'll build the system for you. It doesn't cost anything as far as I remember, but yeah, once we have that, we'll be able to continue on with the mission and everything. Basically, the way it works in the end game for this is once you have the system built, you have to install it, and I think it's a permanent installation if I'm not mistaken, into your ship. After you do that, you go find another smuggler outpost and basically hope that you get the mission to go deliver the cargo to Boltan again. And when you do that, and you get in the sector with Boltan, as opposed to saying deliver the goods, you'll have an option disrupt hyperspace warp or something like that. If you select it, you won't be able to jump out of the sector, and then basically you have to fight him. Our ship is pretty good DPS wise. Like, I even increased the turret capacity from where it was. We used to only have 26 slots for armed turrets, now we're up to 28. So our Omicron is almost at 14,000. If I took all the turrets off and replaced them, we might be able to increase that DPS a little bit, just because I have been, you know, fighting pirates and stations and stuff like that close to the barrier, and when they drop turrets, sometimes they're pretty good. Anyway, guys, so what I think I'm gonna do here, just because this is a big ship and our hyperspace jump takes about 120 seconds every time we go into a sector with anything in it, I'm gonna go around and purchase all the items, and then we'll pick back up when I'm gonna jump back into the sector to get the system built. So with that, I just wanted to say before we cut here, make sure if you're doing this or trying to follow along, go to an accelerator factory, fusion generator factory, energy inverter factory, transformator factory, semiconductor manufacturer, and computer component factory, and you'll be able to buy everything you need. What I recommend, just so you can keep track of what you bought and what you haven't, go ahead and use the little list on the side, like pin the mission to your screen. I'll show you how to do that. We kind of looked at it, but I'll show you again. So if you go in under the missions tab in the player menu and select the mission, if you click this button, it will post this information on the side, and it's really useful on these where you're trying to gather items because it tells you if you have them and how many more you need to find. So I am gonna assume this guy probably has processors. Actually, this one's closer. We'll do this one. They're all computer manufacturers, I believe. So let's see, processors. Cool, we will buy 2 of them. And that is the first item. So, alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and find the rest of the stations and the rest of the items that we need, and we will pick up when we are going to get our system. Until then, we will see ya in a few minutes. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished gathering all the materials. I did end up using the scrapyard and dismantling a few force turrets to get the energy inverters. It took me 4 of them, however those 4 were all either blue or yellow level, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but we have all the goods, so you just tell them, alright, I've got it, it'll be done in no time. Alright, cool, and then we get the hyperspace overloader, and that's the system we need to install. So I'm just going to take out our tractor beam for the time being, and this is our guy here, so put that in slot 2. And then all we really need to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this overlay because we don't need to follow that anymore. All we need to do at this point, I don't think, yeah, we don't need to talk to him anymore. We just need to find Boltan again. So there is a smuggler's outpost up here, so I'm just going to go to that one, I think, because it's relatively close. And then hopefully we won't have to warp around quite as much in order to actually finish the mission. It does depend on if there's someone giving the delivered goods mission in this sector. Hopefully there is. You know, I don't know if it happens in all of them, if you progress the storyline or not, or if it's still just an RNG type thing, like the right smuggling ship has to be floating by the station for you to get the mission. But hopefully we'll get lucky and it'll be at this smuggler's outpost so we can go ahead, find Boltan, and take him out. We're gonna see. I'm curious if our ship is powerful enough to defeat Boltan in under a minute like we did Swokes, but we'll kind of see. I mean, as far as like the actual mission completion time, we're probably looking between 30 minutes and an hour, but no worries. We should be able to do it. I'm just gonna warp. So you may be noticing that I'm only warping into empty sectors here, and the reason why I'm doing that is because of the cooldown like bonus modifier. So it's only 30 seconds. If I was warping into populated sectors, it'd be like 120 seconds. So that's why I'm doing that. You do run the risk of maybe encountering pirates by going into the empty sectors, but honestly, I'm not too scared of that. If we do find some pirates, we can take them out pretty quickly. But yeah, anyway, we are almost to the smuggler's outpost. Hopefully we'll get our mission, and hopefully Boltan won't be too far away. I don't know. I believe it is based off of where you pick up the mission, so that might be a good thing to note. If you're gonna start this, make sure you're by a faction that can trade with you and has, you know, like good factories for turrets, or not turrets, like the accelerator factories and fusion generator factories, that kind of stuff. That way you can buy all the materials inside of the faction that's closest to where you're going to meet with the guy. Like, that's why I was able to, it only took me maybe 10 minutes to buy all the materials, and I wasn't even trying that hard. So no worries, say yes. So that's the little dialogue to get the mission. So now we've got the suspicious cargo, and we just have to get to Boltan again to fake deliver these goods. I am, however, going to use the show location. Makes it a little bit easier, just because when you've scouted out a lot, it's not always the easiest to see the little highlights or the exclamation point, especially if it's, you know, outside of your jump range. So no worries, we got it found. It's actually pretty close. We'll get there in 2 jumps, and then we'll be able to show off the dialogue where you say jam the guy's systems. So thus far we've done the first 2 steps, or first 3 steps I guess. So first step, do the easy delivery mission the first time and have Boltan run out on you. Second step, find the enemy and my enemy friend guy. Just go to his sector and talk to him, not a big deal. Third step, go ahead and gather all the materials to build the system from the guy. And then I guess fourth step would be go back to the system, talk to the friend guy, get your little system here, the hyperspace overloader, install it in your ship. It just takes 1 slot. You don't have to permanent install it, it looks like, so it just needs to be on your ship. Otherwise you're not going to get the option that you need in order to fight Boltan. So once we warp into the sector, Boltan's going to be there. We're going to, you know, hail him like you do normally, or like we did at the start, but we'll have a different option saying use the disruptor or something like that. Once we do that, he's gonna not be able to warp out and we can kill him. So that's kind of the plan. We will see how easy of a fight this is. He is technically speaking a boss, so it might be a little difficult. He's probably got a fast ship or can like warp around. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever done this boss fight. I got close to it in my personal game, but yeah, I don't think I actually fought him because I couldn't get the items. So destroy his hyperspace. We destroyed it. Now I'm just gonna do it again just to be safe. Now I think you just go up, maybe you talk to him. You can't, fam. Yeah, that's right, I did destroy your hyperspace drive. So we're just gonna take him out. He actually isn't too bad. He's got 200k health and hull, basically. So that shouldn't take us too long, like 20 seconds-ish, if we're getting our full DPS the entire time. He, of course, is going to run away like a coward, but that's fine. Our ship is faster than, like, literally everything. So we might be able to do this in under a minute. Shields are almost down. Once we drop his shields, it should be short work. Alright. Cool, we got him. Now, I didn't actually keep track of the time, but I'm pretty sure that was less than a minute, so our ship with almost 14,000 Omicron is able to take out Boltan in under a minute. So there you have it, guys. That is basically the mission, and you get the Zosian Artifact 8. We'll go ahead and show that off. So it's this guy here. What it's going to give you is an increase of 10 jump range, hyperspace cooldown of 50%, and an energy recharge decrease of 80%. So this is actually a really good system. I'll probably replace this one because this one has 2% more cooldown. With it, I have to find an equipment dock first in order to remove this without losing the system, which I don't want to lose this. If we decide to, you know, put something else in here besides our magnet, we can maybe put that in and have close to 100% you know, hyperspace cooldown reduction, which means we won't have to wait to warp anymore. So there you have it, guys. That is the Boltan Smuggler mission and how to get the Zosian Artifact number 8. I know we're not necessarily doing them in sequential order, but that is okay. It doesn't necessarily matter. You just have to have all of the artifacts at the end. One thing to note, I believe you can redo this mission and get another Artifact 8, so we could get 2 of those, and that would give us our 100% decrease as well. So I might try to replay the mission, just so I can get a second Zosian artifact so I can replace both hyperspace modules we've got installed currently on this ship, and then I do it a third time so we have a spare to drop in a junk ship or whatever to open up the portal once we get there. Anyway guys, that is basically all we've got for this one today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. Check out the rest of the series if you're interested in Avorion and want to learn more about it. I've got something like 17-18 episodes covering various aspects of the game. We are going to continue along with this series as I, decide to do the Zosian artifacts. We'll probably do Operation Exodus next, just because I have the mission for it already. Basically you jump between a bunch of points, but I want to get this hyperspace cooldown to 100% before I do it, just because normally you end up warping across the entire galaxy. So like, we're on this side, our first one would probably be down here somewhere, so having that cooldown reduction so you don't have to wait for anything is really helpful. Anyway guys, with that, I will see you next time. If you are waiting for Empyrean content to be uploaded, I know Phase 4 of the experimental has been released. I'm trying to decide how I want to do it, just because I know they changed the temperate start world, so be on the lookout. We will be picking up Empyrean as well, and we're going to keep the Avorion series going. But guys, that's about all the time we've got for today. If you liked it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this has been LD7. We will see ya.